So this particular book has been written by Linda Lay Lowndes, right? And initially she wrote a book with around 64 points, and then she kept on adding more points to it. Now we all in our life want to make friends. We want to have influence on people. We want to persuade people, and this book will actually take you closer to that. So what are the contents of this particular book? Number one, it makes you a dynamite. It makes you a dynamite first impression. If you want to create a rock solid first impression, this book will actually help you create that. You can master the small talk. When you meet with somebody for just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, how do you impress them with your small talk? You just speak 5 sentences, but they should be very impressed with you. This book contains that. Then there are ways in this particular book, there are secrets in this particular book which help you walk and talk like a VIP or celebrity. When you walk inside a room, you'll feel that some leaders, when they walk inside the room, everybody starts looking at them. Can you do that? And how can you do that? This book contains those answers. Now, you also contain 6 ways to establish like an insider in any crowd. You want to enter inside a party and suddenly let people feel that you are amongst them. When they feel that, they will be connecting with you better, they will be emotionally connected with you, and they'll be giving you their particular deals, and business will come to you easily when they feel you are an insider. How do you do that? You can find out tips in this particular book. Now there are 7 ways to establish subliminal rapport with anybody. How to connect internally, how to connect that bond from heart to heart connection. How do you do that is contained inside that particular book. How to feed somebody's ego. People want to be given that compliment. People want to feel that important. How do you do that in such a way that you immediately connect with them and immediately impress them? People want to feel important. How can you do that? There are 9 ways inside this book. Then 11 ways to make yourself powerful communicator on the telephone. How do you do that on a telephone? You're not meeting the person physically, but you can do that with the tips mentioned in this book. And 15 ways to work like a party, like a politician works in a room. So you have to enjoy a party, and you also have to get the deals from various people. And last but not the least, 7 ways to talk like tigers and not get eaten alive. There are some people like your bosses, some people like who are very senior into the system. How do you talk to them? They are like the leaders in their particular category, but how do you talk to them, impress them, and still walk away from them, and they have got an impression that you are great? How can you do that? All of that is given. Now I'm not going to talk about the entire 92 strategies. There are 92 strategies in this book, but I'm talking about some of the important strategies which you can start using from now on. The concept of flooding smile. See, smile has often been overrated. We have been telling that smiling is very, very important. Smiling can actually bring you closer to the person. But the problem with smile is smile can be fake. Now, if I enter inside a room, and if I'm smiling from the beginning of the before entering, only I'm smiling from the room, what is going to happen is people will consider that is a fake smile. But just imagine, inside of this particular room, I have Gaurav, I have Kalyan, and when I look at Kalyan, when I look at Gaurav, and then I start smiling, I have a flooding smile. I show that I am very happy to see you. That will be a genuine smile, because it is not fake. It is not before the room I had a smile. When I looked at Gaurav, when I looked at Kalyan, then I'm smiling. That is a genuine smile. And that is what the author talks about. That you should be having a flooding smile, but it should not be fake. It should not be for everyone. It should be for some specific people whom you want to impress, right? When you have that, you're going to win. Then the second concept, which is talked about in this book, very, very important, is this concept of epoxy eye. Now, just imagine in this particular room, we have some people, who are important for me. So Surendra is in this particular room. And when I meet Surendra, I tell him that, when I interact with him, I just look at him in a way that my eyes have got stuck to him. If I can convey that particular message that Surendra, I'm so impressed by you. Surendra, I'm so very liking what you are saying that I'm not able to move my eyes from you. That is the concept of a sticky eye. This is when you have an amorous relationship, in a loving relationship, you have that kind of an epoxy eye syndrome where you look at your lover with that particular eyes. Now just imagine in a conversation, if you are giving your 100% attention to that particular person, when you are listening to every word that is being spoken, you are behaving as if you're so engrossed by that particular person is going to feel wow, he's going to get amazed by your eye contact. So eyes can play a very important role. And the author says, if you can use this concept of a sticky eye, epoxy eye, that will just work wonders in your favor. That is the second concept, which is very, very amazing in this particular. Uh, okay, Subhash, not an issue. We'll be sending the recording to you. Third concept is limit your fidgeting. The people keep on playing with their hand movements. They have their rings, they have their watches, they have their hair which they play. They keep on touching their faces multiple number of times. That is called fidgeting. Now you have to remove the fidgeting. The more you fidget, the lesser impression you will be creating. Now there was a presidential particular debate going on television some 50 years back, when we had only television. Then there were two presidential candidates who were you know uh, giving an interview, giving the presidential debate on television in United States of America. And one of them was President Nixon. Now, what Nixon did was, actually he was just fidgeting with his hands. He was playing with his hands, and that particular image of him fidgeting with his hands, with his ring on national television, lost him and cost him an entire election. That can go wrong if you are not very clear on the concept of fidgeting. So people, when you go inside of an interview, when you go, for creating a particular impression, and if you're fidgeting, it shows you in a very poor light. It shows that you're not confident about your thing. It shows that you're hiding something. So try and limit as much as fidgeting as much as possible, because this can actually decrease your impression and decrease your likes and influence that you have in front of people's eyes. The next one is, you have to match the mood of the house. So if you're going to meet somebody and he's very, very happy and enthusiastic, and then you go with a sober face, then you are actually talking about your problems, that will not be liked. And when somebody is actually in a bad phase and you go, you're very happy, you're enthusiastic, again, that will not work. So what needs to be happening is, whenever you go inside a room, depending upon the person with which you are interacting, with whom you are interacting, you have to match your mood. You have to ensure that your mood and his mood jo hai, that match with each other. When both of them match, then you create a result which is impressive. Then they will be feeling good about it. Otherwise, it can create a problem. So you have to ensure that you're matching the mood. Then the concept is parroting. Now, what do you do in parroting? Now, parroting is a very, very important concept. No, suppose we love people who are just like us. Now, look at your friends, look at your family members whom we are able to interact with, whom we are able to talk for long hours. What do you do in those relationships? You love those people who are just like you, who behave just like you, and who synchronize with you, who have the same thought process like you. And how do you create this particular thing? Suppose somebody is talking about a trip. In the last example I had given, suppose somebody was talking about a Goa trip that they have gone to. So what do? You just copy their words exactly, right? So suppose he's talking about a Goa trip, and you're not able to converse beyond a particular point. There's a particular point where the conversation had got struck, that you do not know what to say. Sometimes we say that, okay, fine, what happened else, what else, we just can get confused. How do we solve that issue? Suppose that particular person whom you're talking to is talking about his Goa trip, and is talking about the hotel stay, which was not bad. And how do you parrot it? You just say, was it that bad? And just what you're doing is, you're giving him a room to speak on that topic for a little by a bit more. So that is the best part. When you're parroting him, when you are just copying his particular sentence, the last sentence that he talked about contained the hint. If you get the hint from that, if you copy that, if you parrot that, he will feel that you are listening to that particular person, and then he will be more open to speaking more and revealing more of his life. And that can create a gel between those two people. So parroting people and doing what they are doing can actually bring you closer to those people. Next one is, you always have to have a air of positivity around you. See, the world is already negative around you. If you look at people around you, they're already in their negative. Somebody is suffering from some kind of a pain, some kind of a disease, or some kind of a mental disturbance. They are stressed out. Now, if you move inside the room and you also carry your negativity, your stress, your pain, you bring these into the conversation, and people will dislike you, because they already have 10 of their problems. If you add another 12 to them, another 2 or 3 to them, they are not going to like you. So you have to always carry that positivity around you. So Leigh Lowndes talks about this concept of bringing positivity into any room that you walk in. When you have that particular feature, people are going to like you. then you need to be avoiding arguments at all the costs. Do not argue with people. The more arguments you win, the lesser friends you have. So try as much as possible not to win any argument, because that is going to lose friends. You are going to lose friends because of it. Okay, so don't say I am always right. Just accept the other person point of view also. It might be difficult, but that is right. If you want to impress people, if you want to influence people, you have to understand their perspective also. You have to listen to them and accept their perspective also. So don't argue is one of the solutions which Leigh Lowndes talks in a book. Then it's very, very important, and we have been talking about this multiple number of times, that when you are communicating with people, look at the word communicate. Look at the word, how it has been pronounced over here below. Communicate. It's not about me. If I keep on talking about me, my problems, my solutions, my achievements, that is not going to impress you. In this entire conversation, I have to make it about you. How can you win in your life? How can you become a great communicator? How can you improve your fluency? If I'm talking about you, you people will be interested in me. That is where the communication shift has to happen mentally. You have to always, whenever you're talking to somebody, the conversation should not be about your problems, your solutions, your achievements. It should be majorly focused on them. And when you do that, then you have a winner at your hand. So you have to always think, every person in this room is somewhere or the other thinking, what's in it for me? Why should I come to this 9:15 meeting? What am I going to get if I attend this 9:15 meeting today? Am I going to learn something? Everybody is interested in their own self. Now, if I can give, if as a team MMDC, we can give that to you, then you will definitely want to come in every day, because you're getting something from this meeting. And that is why it's never about us. It's majorly about you. Communicate. That is the word. Now, the next concept which she gives is very, very interesting. She talks about see no bloopers, hear no bloopers. Now, what is the meaning of this? See, people keep on committing a lot of mistakes here and there. We keep on falling, we keep on breaking things, and we keep on doing a lot of social etiquette mistakes. But many of the times, what happens is you see somebody making a mistake, and you see somebody falling, and you start laughing. You see somebody breaking a plate or doing some blooper, and you laugh on that particular person. That should be absolutely avoided. That should be absolutely avoided. Why? Because when that other person has already made the mistake, he's already feeling guilty. He's already feeling at a loss. He's feeling that he should be saving his face already. And if at that point of time you laugh on him, you lose that relationship. But on the other hand, if you avoid that, you pretend as if you have not seen that, what is going to happen? He will have a great amount of respect for you. That he saw the blooper, he saw the mistake, he saw the problem, but still he's supporting me indirectly. So he will have, this person will have a great support for you. Small, small, small favors like this, small activities like this, there are 92 of them in this particular book. If you read all of them, you're going to get really amazing in your particular conversation, in your particular relationships. But these are important ones which we have collected for you. The next one on the line is this one: emotional prediction. Now, when we are talking to people, when we are meeting some people for the first time, we told you your conversation should not be only about you. You should always be thinking, you should be having a mental connection with that particular person. You should as if try to think, scan their brain and find out what would be the problem. So if I'm meeting Kalyan for the first time, I will be trying to find out what are those problems that Kalyan is going through. If I can solve one, two, three of his problems, or even one of his problems, maybe with Kalyan I'll have a better relationship. Maybe Kalyan will connect with me better. Why am I doing this? Because I'm just trying to connect with him emotionally. So you have to predict what is going on inside their mind. What is their biggest pain? What is that one thing which keeps Kalyan awake in the night? Can I solve that for that particular person? Because if you have that mentality, if you have that particular emotional prediction, you will become an instant darling for people. Okay. So this is a real interesting one. Next one, it's avoid me too. Last time when we were discussing this, Hina was in the room. And this is very interesting, because generally this happens. Suppose I'm talking about my schooling days, and somebody, I'm talking to somebody. Suppose I'm talking to Hina itself, and I'm talking about my schooling days. In my class 12, I was not good in studies, and then suddenly Hina interrupts me. Sir, even I was the same. So before listening to me, we have this particular feeling. Before listening to others, what do? We jump into the conversation and said, "नहीं नहीं, मेरे साथ भी ऐसा हुआ था. Even I had a same thing. Even I have gone through the same pain. I have gone through the same process." that is actually wrong. When you do that, you are you are letting the other person stop. You're forcing the other person to stop speaking, and that is a great disservice you can do to the other person, and he's not carrying a very good impression about you. Rather, on the other hand, you should let the other person complete his sentence, complete his story, even if it is boring. Listen to them, because what you want here, you want to create a favorable impression, you want to influence them, you want to impress them, and that is why you'll have to go through this pain. The story might be painful, ho sakta hai, it might happen that the story is painful, but listen to their story. Don't jump in and tell that, okay, it's the same as happened to me. Avoid that particular thing, and maybe you will be having better friendship and better relationships with people. The next point on the line is, you have to understand the difference between praising and flattery. Okay, you have to understand. So when we praise people, we have to understand that praising is different and flattery is different. How do we do that? For example, there are some people, suppose, I gave this example last time also about Aishwarya Rai. Suppose Aishwarya Rai is the most beautiful woman on this earth, right? People keep on telling it, media keeps on telling it, Aishwarya Rai is the most beautiful person on this earth. If I go and meet Aishwarya, and if I tell her, Aishwarya Rai, that Aishwarya, you're looking beautiful, will she consider this to be praise, or will she consider this to be a flattery? Because she'll consider this to be flattery, because the entire world has already told her that she is beautiful. If I tell her that, ma'am, you're very beautiful, can you give me an autograph, maybe she will get offended, maybe she will feel that I am manipulating her. So that is flattery. Don't do that. You have to praise people. How do you praise people? You have to personalize things. Then maybe I can go and tell her, ma'am, I was just watching your photograph with Aradhya, her daughter. I saw your photo with your daughter, and your daughter looks awesome, very cute, very beautiful, just like you. Then maybe she will take that as a compliment. Then she will understand that, yes, this is praise, this is genuine praise coming directly from the heart. So what you have to do to avoid it being flattery, you have to personalize it. You have to repeat what others are not speaking. So it will take some effort. You'll have to find out something in that particular person which is unique. But if you do that, if you take that pain, definitely you will be remembered in her mind for a very long time. She will remember about you, because everybody in the world is talking about, she's beautiful, but I went there and I told that you're beautiful, your daughter is beautiful, your combo, your duo is looking very beautiful. If I do that, I'm just changing the game, and I'm creating a much better chances that she will remember me for a long time. So these are some of the important points that we had to discuss. Now I would like to give it to Saurav over here. And Saurav, you can take the stage from here, and let us discuss what are the important points that you understood, and what are the points you will take back home and will start implementing in your relationships with others. Yes, Saurav.
Sure, sure. Thank you for giving such a wonderful presentation, sir. So I would just like to call all the members